This is my brand new 2024 Tesla Model 3 long range, and in today's video I'm going to cover some of the things that you might want to know as a brand new Tesla owner. Like myself, this is my very first EV and very first Tesla, and there was a ton of things that I kind of had to get used to, but now that I'm used to it, I don't think I can go back to any other vehicle. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Jason and I do reviews on vehicles here in Canada, and I also go over the ownership experience with my Model 3 here. So if you guys are interested in car reviews or just seeing my ownership experience with this car, be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Now let's start things off with the most obvious and the most important question that everyone asks who goes for an EV, and that is the charging. So my suggestion would be, before you even get into buying an EV, a full EV, in that case, ask yourself, how will you be charging the vehicle? You can either charge with a level 1, which is just your standard outlet at home. There's the level 2, which will be the one that you can buy from Tesla online, and you have an electrician install it at your house. And then there is supercharging. So depending on how you decide to charge your vehicle, that will also depend on how good of an experience that you'll have with any EV in general. So if you do just the standard outlet charging and that's all you have, and if you don't want to install the wall charger or live in an apartment complex or any other complex that does not have that type of charging, well, let me tell you, you're gonna have to think well in advance when you do charge your vehicle, because it takes very long to charge the vehicle. I do have the wall charger, which just charges overnight in like 2-3 hours depending on how much I drive the vehicle, and I think that's what the majority of people get installed in their house anyways. And if you're going that route, then well, your ownership experience I think is going to be much more pleasant. And let's say you don't even want to charge with an outlet at home or the wall charger, and you just want to rely on supercharging, well, let me tell you, that's going to add up and it's going to be pretty expensive, and also it could be inconvenient depending on where you live and how busy things get at the superchargers. So make sure to think of all of that before you get into a full EV. All right, so let's say you've picked up your Tesla Model 3. This is your first time driving it, or let's say you've test driven it before, but now you actually get to live with it. Well, let me tell you, this is such a smooth car, and the acceleration is instant. Of course, it's an EV. There's no lag between the engine or anything. And once you do drive your vehicle for a couple of months and you get back into a gas car, well, let me tell you, you're going to be highly disappointed, because it's not going to be smooth and the acceleration is just not there. Also, tying that into how the vehicle drives, you're going to have to get used to one pedal driving. If you own a gas vehicle right now, or a hybrid, or any other vehicle that doesn't have regenerative braking, well, let me tell you, at first it's going to be a little weird. Every time you want to come to a stop, you'll want to press the brakes, but you really don't have to, unless you really need to stop the vehicle like last minute or all of a sudden. But other than that, you're just driving with the accelerator. You're pressing the accelerator down to go, obviously, and once you start letting off the accelerator, you're gonna notice the car starting to slow down, and that's the regenerative braking. And again, when you get into any other vehicle that does not have regenerative braking, you're gonna have to reprogram your brain. So another thing that I keep seeing online, or I've seen online many times, is how do you wash a Tesla? Because there's no engine in this, there's a battery underneath the vehicle. So can you wash it at like a automatic car wash? Well, yes, you can. You can take it to a touchless car wash, which I prefer, rather than going to a touch car wash, because obviously that's just going to damage your car. Not just a Tesla or EV, just any car it'll damage. But going through a touchless car wash is fairly safe, and even if you wash the car yourself during the summer months, that's preferable, and that's what I do with my car. There's something called car wash mode, and I'll show you just in a second. So when you do turn that on, it pretty much locks everything, the windows, the doors, trunk, frunk, charge port, in case you don't accidentally open something while you're washing the car or at a car wash. So let me show you. It's all done through the touchscreen. So when you do get into the vehicle here, and in the touchscreen, you're just gonna go to this car image, and right here it's gonna show car wash. And let me just close the door so I can show you. You're just gonna press car wash mode, and right here, car wash mode is activated. If you end up going over 15 kilometers, it automatically just turns off. But yeah, all of these things, it turns on. All right, another thing that so many people I see are confused about, especially if they've never been in a Tesla, or with the door handles. Now this can be tricky at first if you have no idea and you never opened a Tesla door. However, it's pretty easy. Now depending on which side of the vehicle you're getting in, if you're getting in on the left side, use your left hand, the right side, right hand. So since I'm on the left side here, all I'm gonna do is come up to the vehicle here, and you can see right here, there's a bigger indent, and then it kind of gets skinnier right here. All you're gonna do is put your thumb on the bigger, fatter portion, and you're gonna push in, and while that happens, you're just gonna grab right here on the handle and just pull, and that's it. It's very simple once you get used to it. I've seen so many people, they're just like this, they don't know what to do, they're just tapping everywhere hoping that this pops out, but very easy. Push here and pull. Now, another thing that people do have to get used to is how do you lock and unlock and drive the Tesla? So let's say you want to drive the vehicle and get into the vehicle. Well, just have your phone with you, because this is going to act as your phone key, because you don't need the physical card once you do have it set up on your phone. And all you really do is just walk up to the vehicle and open. It unlocks, and if you want to lock it, all you have to do is just get out of the car, close your door, and just walk away, assuming that you have the walk away feature set on there. As you just saw, it locked the vehicle once I got like a certain distance away from it, and that's it. You just walk away. The vehicle's locked, sentry mode is running, so anything happens around your car, it will pick it up. So if you want to drive the vehicle, again, come up to the door here, open it up, and let's hop right in. So you're gonna get in. Typically you would put your foot on the brake and shift your gear from here, or from here depending on the vehicle you have. On this, all you're going to do is put your foot on the brake, and if you have a pin code installed or activated, it's going to ask you, so let me put that in and let me show you. Once you have that in, the vehicle is essentially on right now, and since this has no stalks, everything is done from the touchscreen. As you can see right here in the corner, you're just going to go up to go forward, and that's it. You just start driving. And if you want to go to reverse, you just go back and the reverse cameras pop up, and now you can go reverse. Now, if you want to put the car in park and you don't have your foot on the brake there, you're gonna have the letter P here and it says hold. So you just hold it and that's it. The vehicle is in park. But let's say you're in drive and you have your foot on the brake. All you have to do is tap. That's it. However, one of my favorite things on this is when you have your seatbelt buckled in, right? So I've got mine on right now, and let's say I want to go to drive. Now I come to a stop, right? I come to my destination. I can either press and hold on the screen here or just tap right here, depending on if my foot is on the brake or not. However, what you're going to get used to slowly, and this is going to be a bad habit in my opinion, especially if you get into a gas vehicle or a vehicle that does not have this feature, all you have to do is, and what I do now, unbuckle my seatbelt, and the car automatically shifts to park. Another way is, let's say you don't want to do the seatbelt thing. Again, you're in drive. All I have to do is, once I'm parked, I open my door and the vehicle goes to parked automatically. This can be good and bad depending on if you have other vehicles in your household. Okay, now on the inside is where you'll really have to get used to this vehicle, especially if this is your first EV or just first Tesla in general. Now, starting with the steering wheel, as you know, Teslas on the interior are very minimalistic compared to a traditional vehicle. So like with this Model 3, you do not have any stocks where you would have on a normal vehicle. Your turn signal here, and then all of the gear and all of that there. All of this is on the steering wheel. So you have your indicators right here. You've got your high beams over here, your volume knob, and then over here is where your camera button is, your windshield wipers, and here's where you turn your full self-driving, autopilot, all of that on and off. So yeah, this is probably one of the major things in my opinion that you do have to get used to on this vehicle. But when you do get used to the non-stocks and you go back to a vehicle that does have stocks, you're going to be so used to doing everything on the steering wheel, you're going to forget that those even exist. Now, the next thing that you really have to get used to and you really got to get to know is your touchscreen. This is the heart of the car. As you know, there's no cluster area here, none of that stuff. It's all done through here, and all of the information is displayed on this screen. And honestly, even though that there's a ton of information packed into the touchscreen here, once you play around with it and you kind of get to know where everything is, it's super easy to use. Now, however, there are instances where, let's say you get an update, some things will shift into a different category from what you're used to. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty straightforward once you do get used to it. And packed into the screen, a lot of people that have misconceptions or just confusion when they come into a Tesla as their first car is the range that you have displayed right here up top. And if you click on the percentage here, it does show you your kilometers or mileage depending on where you are. And with this, I've heard a lot of complaints online where people are like, oh, Tesla was saying, you know, you're gonna get XYZ range on their website, but I'm not even getting anything close to that. And just like any vehicle, whether it be a full EV or a gas vehicle, the things that you see online, especially like on the manufacturer's website, is just an estimate. And it will be relatively pretty close to that estimate, but it will be off. So just so that you know. And also a big factor is how you're driving, where you're driving, the climate outside. There's just a bunch of different things that go into that make how much kilometers you have or how much percentage you have left. And something that I just love about the Teslas is that you can actually put extra security on your vehicle. So let's say for whatever reason or however someone got into your car, well, if they get into your car, you can set a PIN code just like your iPhone for them to begin driving. If they don't know the PIN, they can't drive the vehicle. And also you can set a PIN for your glove compartment. So if you have something valuable in there, again, no one's gonna get into it unless they know the PIN code. Okay, another thing that you'll have to get used to, especially with not having to carry around physical keys, is all from your app. The Tesla app. Everything is done through there. You can also control opening up the front, unlocking the vehicle, unlocking the charge port, and opening the trunk. And under the same controls tab here, you can flash your lights, honk the horn. There's also this start button, which let's say you're out of the country and someone needs to move your vehicle at home. It'll give them a certain amount of time where it gives them access to the car and they can move it. You can also vent your windows and also check your tire pressure. Also, you can control your climate. So you can turn on the heated seats for the front and the rear, or the ventilated seats for the front. Also the heated steering wheel. You can set your temperature, defrost the car, cat mode, dog mode, cabin overheat protection. There's just a ton of things that you can do in this app. You can also see the location of your vehicle, and depending on if you have full self-driving, at the time of recording this, Tesla did roll out a 30-day trial for the full self-driving and also the summon feature. So you'll have that here as well that you can play around with. There's also the schedule where you can precondition your vehicle and set your charging time limit and all of that. Under your security and drivers, again, you can see your live cameras, or you can turn it off. There's valet mode, parental controls, speed limit, pin to drive, just a bunch more things. There's also the charge stats, so it'll let you know over a certain period of time, whether it be monthly, yearly, how much estimated savings you made compared to gas, how much total you've charged in kilowatts, and how much money you spent charging. You can also do all sorts of different upgrades, shop for accessories, parts, even software upgrades. There's also the service, so if there is anything wrong with your vehicle, you can just set your service appointments all through the app. And then also is the roadside, so if you do need roadside assistance, everything again is done through the app. Well, that does it for the video, and some of the things that you'll need to know or get used to if you're new to owning a Tesla or an EV. I'm sure there's tons of other things, but these were the things that I had to get used to and kind of what I noticed. If there's other things, do let me know down in the comments below. If there's anything else that you guys want to see, I will go ahead and make a video on it, so let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.